Hello guys, what is going on? My name is Niall and this is going to be a day in the life of me as a game designer. But with this one, it's going to be different from the previous ones I've did. This one is going to be focusing on what a day is like when I'm dealing with a bunch of projects at once. So I'm not just going to be showing you what it's like for me working in industry, working at like my day job as a game designer, but I'm also going to be showing you what it's like running my board game company and at the same time starting up and working on an indie game as well, separate from all of that. So first thing that I do in the morning, because I have to get up quite early to be able to do these things, because obviously when 9 o'clock starts I'm working for the company which I work at. I straight away get out the post-it notes and color code each task which I need to do, just so I can visually see how many tasks are being taken up by different projects and how busy I'm going to be with different projects, and basically what I need to get done by the end of the day. So the first task for today was actually related to one of the newer projects which I've started working on, and that's the indie game. So this is going to be a video game, and I've got two other people with me working on it. And one of my roles, because you have to have multiple roles when you're in such a small team, is to be the project manager. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to use a project management tool called ClickUp. And you might be thinking, three people don't really need something like that, but we are anticipating to bring on freelancers, and we might even grow the team at some point, depending on where the game goes. But yeah, so I spent about the first hour of the morning doing that, just to make sure it's all set up. I didn't really bother to do very many tasks, like implement very many tasks into ClickUp, because later today on my lunch break we're going to be having a meeting to discuss what exact tasks are going to be going into the first sprint. After that, the last task of the day for me to do, apart from have the meeting later on, to do with the indie game, was to just play the current build. There have been about 3 or 4 builds made now. I played the most recent one and then gave my feedback to the rest of the team. So that was done, and then easy as that, 2 tasks have been taken off the board. Sorry, I'm just editing the video now, and I'm like, I've talked about this indie game like a bit and I've teased it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you like a quick snippet of a playtesting session which I've done with a couple of my friends on the game, just so you can get an idea of it. Yeah, so literally just have a run around, Alex. You can currently vault off that blue thing, and you can wall run as well if you build up enough momentum.
Okay, so I can. Oh, I do. All right. Okay.
You just went through it. I had about half an hour left to start working on some Crab Studio stuff, which are the pink post-its. And one of those things was to just, I'm not a graphic designer, and I'm probably going to discuss in a different video what the benefits of having a graphic designer are. No spoilers, and how this next task went. But one of the things which I wanted to do is I wanted to experiment with different sort of like styles and different looks of cards in Fatal Knockout. If you're unfamiliar with what Fatal Knockout is, there is a playlist on the channel of devlogs all about Fatal Knockout, which is my upcoming board game, which is inspired by arcade fighting games like Street Fighter and Tekken and that sort of thing. So if that's interest to you at all, then make sure to check it out. But yeah, so I was just going through, not really with any sort of skill, just trying out different looks for the cards. And as you can see here, these are the 2 sort of variants which I've got. Now, like I said, I'll probably be making an entire devlog video just about this topic related to Fatal Knockout, because it does develop even further, but that was between 8:30 and 9, right before work started. So with work, if you're familiar with sort of any sort of tech companies, there are things called stand-ups, which mean that we talk to other people on the team about what we did yesterday and what we're going to do today, and then this is the opportunity for anybody to bring up any sort of questions and queries about the project or what they're doing. The project manager on the team might ask questions about the current task you're on, how long you've got left on it, that sort of thing, just to be able to keep the project moving. And this happens between 9 and 9:15 every morning. Okay, good morning. On Friday I got the Mission 4 tile Resort Garden into testing. Everything that's on the to-do and acceptance criteria is ticked off, apart from the testing stuff like playing it, which we'll hopefully do at some point this week before Friday, just so it can be done. And then also on Friday I started the hill on another Mission 4 combat tile, Resort Tavern. So that's what I'm going to be spending pretty much all day today doing. Hopefully I can get it done by the end of the day. It's not a massively complicated tile. So yeah, that's me And yeah, I'll pass to you, Gary. After spending about an hour on my task for the day, we have a bunch of like communal tasks that we have to do every now and again. And on Mondays, which is what this day was, in particular, we have a thing called State of the Game, which basically means that we just like play the game and then talk about the game, see where it's at, if there's any bugs, if there's any like issues, design-wise, if there's anything that could be like sort of improved, that sort of thing. And so the way it's structured is that 2 people play it, and then 1 person watches it. I had some issues with my headset that day. Usually I'm playing it, but I was observing and making notes, and that sort of thing. So here are a couple of clips from that. Oh, I like the yellow, like what they called, like railings. I feel like, yeah, I'll add that in. To the notes. Does that vignette feel like oppressively like tiny when you're on like low health? Enemies are supposed to spawn whilst you're moving as well, so I don't know what happened there. Did you say kill shots aren't affecting you? It seems like at some point collisions just stopped working, because last time you managed to be able to kill like most of these, right? Right, well I don't think we can do anything else now. I think that's kind of it, isn't it? So after State of the Game, I reopened Unity and I continued working on the level which I was working on before State of the Game, and then after that it was lunch. On my lunch I did 2 things. I can't really show you one of them because it's a bit spicy, but basically I was working on the Fatal Knockout finances, so like sorting out budgets for the Kickstarter, sorting out like basically what my profit margins are going to be like for the product, whether it's going to be sustainable and that sort of thing, because it's going to be a much more expensive game than my last game, Langskip, because as you can see Langskip's a very small box, whilst Fatal Knockout, get these other games out of the way, Fatal Knockout is this huge, massive box with loads of components, and it's going to cost a lot more to make. So I was pretty much just making sure that it was actually feasible to do at the price point which I wanted it to be at. But then after that, I then had the meeting with the 2 other people who I'm working with on the indie game which we are developing. And so it was basically a meeting about setting up tasks in ClickUp, but also like just sort of a general meeting about like, you know, like different elements of the game, like story, art, design, that kind of thing. Yeah, like because like this is what like when you say that like blocks disappearing, this is what I kind of imagine, like just walking on, like the level like starts like going, well the room looks like kind of like this, where blocks are like disappearing and it becomes like really abstract. Because it's just like imagining what's happening, and then it becomes like nothingness. Yeah, like maybe it's just like you just see the hands go past your face on like either side, and then that's all it has to do. No, I get. Yeah, it might be the case of like I just don't. Maybe I don't even don't understand how it works or how it's like supposed to work as well. Like sort of what the aim is. Like yeah, for example, like the thing which I sent, which the most recent bit of feedback I sent was like. I thought it would be better if there was more time between, because like when you slide, because like there's a max like running speed, isn't there, like 700, and like when you slide, obviously you go higher than that. And my feedback was that it would be good if there was more time between gaining that additional speed and it going back down to 700. Like there was a bit more of a delay on that, just so you could feel the benefits of that spring game more. Okay, so polish, so movement systems. Okay, current movement systems, and then we can just list all the movement systems in here. Finally, after that, because like there was quite a lot of sort of distractions or things sort of in the way, sort of like are interrupting my flow, and when I'm doing level design in particularly, when I am most productive is when I have like a long stretch of time where I'm uninterrupted. Finally, after lunch, which was about 1:30-ish, I just sat down with my headphones on, listening to music, and I bashed out the rest of the level, and that was me until the end of the day. Out of the entire day, I'd say probably the most fulfilling was my day job, which is great to say, because like a lot of people, especially in the games industry, like working on side projects because like the day job working in the games industry like sort of like tires you out. It's very like sort of mentally draining. But for me, making levels for this game, which I'm working on for this company at the moment, is really, really fulfilling. And like legit, those last 3 hours of the day was my best time for the whole day. Not to say that I didn't enjoy the rest of it. I did, because I just love making games, but I'm glad to say that I really enjoy my work, which is crazy. Not a lot of people get to say that, I don't think. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, it was quite a short video. I tried to keep it snappy. But yeah, so that is another day in the life. If you like to see these types of videos more often, I can do, because every day is different. So I'll just pick a day and there's always something interesting to show off, just because of the amount of stuff which I'm working on at the moment. But I've got a bunch of other videos up and coming. I've got videos dedicated specifically to helping you get into industry, videos which are more related to board games, because recently after getting into the video game industry and also starting work on this indie game, I can see myself more and more being pulled away from board games. So I'm going to be doing some board game related content as well, because I know a lot of people who watch these videos also like board game stuff, because like that's primarily what I do outside of work. But yeah, so get excited for that. My last video was a video on the Game Maker's Toolkit Game Jam, so if you want to check that out, you can do. It's a very funny video, just because of how it went. I'll just say that, like, it wasn't necessarily the best production on the game, but it was still very good. I was very happy with it, definitely. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully enjoyed, and I shall see you in the next one. Goodbye.